I started playing World of Warcraft for the very first time back in October. I saw Shadowlands and I'm like, you know what? This is my time. I need to, and this is when I'm gonna, if I ever gonna play it, I'm gonna start here. And a brief little history about how I basically got into WoW, because a lot of people ask me, so how did you get into WoW? You know, and I was like, you know what? I used to play like I mentioned, Pokemon card games, and I moved on to Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I heard about Hearthstone, and I had seen people playing Hearthstone on stream, and it really appealed to me. So I got to playing that. I got to learn about. I had no idea anything about World of Warcraft. Honestly, I had no idea who it was or what, nothing. I think maybe I had heard about Alliance and Horde, but that was about it. So I got into this stuff, and then it wasn't until I started from the beta, played beta. I played for a while, then I quit. I didn't stop playing, and then I came back later on, like couple expansions later. I think it was for the Whispers of the Old Gods, right? It sounded pretty good. So I started with that, but it wasn't until the set that was for Wrath of the Lich King, which was Knights of the Frozen Throne, that I learned about Arthas and the Lich King and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I started listening to people talk about WoW lore. Noble 87 is one of them, and other lore videos I could see. And I'm like, wow, this is really cool. So I got to learn a lot about World of Warcraft via that. And so when I saw finally that they announced Shadowlands, and that somehow was tied into the afterlife and Arthas and all this other kind of stuff, I was like, wow, okay, I don't want to miss out. So I started playing in October, when they finally moved, did the patch, the pre-patch or something. No, a little before that, before the pre-patch. So I was starting playing that. It was still BFA, and so this is basically my, I guess, 6 months review or experience, however you want to call it. I don't know what I'm going to put on the title. So I started playing, and my very first character was a mage, and I'm like, because for Hearthstone, my main was, or what I used to play a lot was mage. That's basically the first hero that I got, golden and 1,000 wins on, and all this kind of stuff. So I started as a mage, and it was pretty grindy. It was definitely pretty grindy. I tried to do as much as I could research wise, like how do you play the game and this and that. And I was just playing with a regular mouse and keyboard, nothing special. Moving around the spells, and I was just, honestly, I was getting destroyed. I think I got up to probably level 30 something, 33, 30, and I was struggling. I kept dying all the time because mages, as I now know, have cloth armor, and that basically they call it squishy is the term, right? When you die real easily. And I was playing a frost mage, right? Because I think that's what they started me as, right? I was still learning that you can move to change different aspects. And so I was playing in this Duskvar region or whatever, really hard place. And like this couple of people saw that I was struggling, right? I guess I had noob written all over me. And they're like, hey kid, you need any help? I'm like, yeah man, I need this and that. And they're like, hey, you want to join our guild? And I'm like, oh wow. I was like, wow, cool. Someone's actually invited me to their guild, And that was the very first guild I joined. And to their credit, man, they were awesome. Tony, and I forgot her name. I think it was Angelica. No, not Angelica. Goddamn, I forgot their names. But I remember Tony and the lady that were part of the co-owners of the gym or whatever, co-gym managers. The guy was super cool. He gave me 10,000 gold, which at that point I thought was a ton of gold. I had, now I have significantly more gold than that. But back then I was like, oh wow, 10,000 gold, and he gave me things like some bags and stuff. So I have to give credit to them guys. They really, helped me out in the beginning. just learning stuff and all these other things like slash reload and all these stuff, dude. They were super patient with me. It was like the best thing that can happen because as far as I was going, I was struggling. I was playing and I was learning everything, but it was very hard and very frustrating. But I guess had that noob mentality or whatever, that I just wanted to keep playing and keep exploring. But if it wasn't for them, then it wouldn't have been taking me a lot more time. Anyways, I said, you know what? Tony told me, hey, you can do this with your mage, get your pet out and all this and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think I want to try something else. I want to try Death Knight. He's like, yeah, great, let's do a Death Knight. So Death Knight was definitely a lot better because I could actually kill minions or mobs or whatever they call them, and that was great. So fast forward, we moved to Shadowlands launching, right? And I was really excited. I had prepared as much as I could. I had, grinded as much gold as I could. I think I had about the same amount of gold after I had bought some stuff, whatever. I can't remember what I spent gold on, whatever. And Shadowlands started, right? And getting up there. Before that, I had managed to get, because I didn't want to touch the mage, right? Because the mage was really painful. Like thinking of having to level that up to another 20 levels and another 10. So I kind of put the mage in the back burner. So I kept with my Death Knight. I made a Demon Hunter. That's again another one I was pretty good with. And as a third option, I did a Paladin. The reasoning behind this is because I wanted to absorb as much as the game as I could. And I knew moving forward there was a thing with professions. There was these professions, the gathering and the ones you do stuff. And for the first time you could, or not, I don't know for the first time, but in the wild that you could craft your own legendaries. And they were pretty cool, And I'm like, okay, I want to have this, and this. My jewel crafter, my blacksmith, alchemy, inscription, all this. I want to dip my toes into everything, So I said, okay, I want 4, but it was just too overwhelming, right? It was a lot. And, but the reason I had made the first 3 characters really quick is because there was a drop in Northrend from this one boss that gave you a bag. I was in that big bag. They had 2 more slots than what, or 4 more slots than what the most that you could get in World of Warcraft. So I got 3 of my characters, the ones that all have level 50s. I got the bags on all 3. The mage was still at level 30. I'm like, you know what? I don't have the time to, or I really don't want to grind it out. I did have a character boost, but that's when I used for the Paladin. Right, so I grinded the Death Knight and I grinded the Demon Hunter, and I boosted the Paladin, right? Which probably I should have boosted the mage first, because turns out mages are pretty busted right now. So after that, we got into Shadowlands and everything was pretty good. The one problem is that for some reason or other, just the guild that I was playing in, they had quite a few people. It just kind of like disintegrated. It just disintegrated. Only like there was like maybe 1-2 people at a time. Most of the time, I found myself just me playing, because honestly, I was the only one that at that point didn't have a job and didn't have anything to do really, and I could spend hours and hours and hours playing the game, and the other people I guess had jobs or school or just I don't know, other games they played. So that kind of sucked, and I really wanted to do the dungeons and then learn them, right? Because you got to learn the dungeons, all the mechanics, and I still needed a lot more learning. So that's what sucked. But I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave and find somewhere else. So I thanked them. I said, hey, thank you very much. Unfortunately, the guy that gave me the 10,000 gold, he like left, or like he gave the ownership of the guild to the other co-owner, and I could never like give him back his money. Or I had made a trinket because he used to play healer, and I'm like, hey, here's a Dark Moon card, that's worth like 20,000 gold here. Thanks for giving me that initial 10,000, just paying back. But he never came back. He never played the game again, so I couldn't give him anything. So I just said, hey, thanks a lot. I really appreciate what you did for me, and I'm off to bigger and better things. So that's another thing. After I left that guild, I tried to find other guilds, and you constantly get spammed from these people, and join my guild. But I don't know. I felt like I wanted to pick one this time, one that I would know that I could invest, because I hate having to like do something. Because when I was in that guild, I was really proud that I was like exalted with because you get reputation in the guild, and I was like, oh man, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm high ranked. I even got a promotion in the guild, so I was really happy. And then to just lose it was kind of it sucked. So with my next guild, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pick the guys, and I'm gonna see that they're semi-dedicated, or at least have the time or something. But I just never did. And by this time, a lot of people have left, and actually I never got into another guild. I just played by myself solo, and playing publics, or pugs they call them. Just looking for groups and looking for others, and so that's the thing. The guild thing is kind of an issue, and if you really want to get into the better guilds, you got to be like really good. And I don't know. I need something in between. I need something that is not like super demanding, but also isn't like flaky or whatever. Nobody's there, and it's like super casual. I need something a little more moderate, to help me get to the next level, which would be hardcore raiding and dungeons and content and all this other stuff. So that's one thing. So guilds has been a pain point, and now after a while, definitely after the honeymoon period, because at first everything was just dandy. The game launched without a hitch. I picked I think pretty decent server. It was between Kilthasad, Proudmoore, and Lightbringer, right? Because I was looking to something that was close to my location, which is Las Vegas, because of ping and all that kind of stuff. So I saw Lightbringer was in LA, but the thing was that it wasn't that very. It was a medium population, so I wanted a higher population, because again, I wanted people to play. Proudmoore, it was like full, and I'm like, man, I don't want to have to, not be able to log in and play. And then Kel'Thuzad was like high, but you could still get in, and it was mountain. So I'm thinking it's probably somewhere in Colorado, Utah, somewhere. I think it ended up being in Arizona. I'm not sure. But anyways, so I picked that, and so everything was good. But after a while, it just got very repetitive. The whole market of the auction house got really competitive. I did not imagine that there were going to be people in the auction house like 24/7, almost like people that only take like 2-3 hour naps and just keep cancel scanning, which they use some kind of special software to, like, if someone's put something cheaper than you automatically just delist your item and relist it for the same or cheaper. And just that was a real bummer. Like, I couldn't actually like make stuff and just put it up there, and if it sold, it sold. If you're not consistently like on top of it, you won't make any sales. Really, you won't make any sales. So I started with, I think it was around, I had my initial 10,000, and then I had 30,000 after I discovered that I could mine, do herbalism and mining in the mall. But the mall has a timer that the more you interact, or the more you kill mobs or whatever, the eye of the jailer, which is some like a mechanic to kick you out, the more you interact, you would rack up that meter, and then eventually you get kicked out. But I managed to find with my demon hunter, I could basically glide around the place. Get up high and glide around. Pick the nodes of the metals and the flowers, and then if I ever got into trouble with the mob, I would just CC it. Just imprison it, and then walk away. And eventually, they just forget about you and they go on about their business. So I managed to stay in the mall at times for like, I want to say like 3 hours straight, right? And I was just mining the crap out of that. And all of a sudden, I was starting to make, 30,000, and then another 15,000, 20,000. I think I did that for a week till I got about 100,000 gold, right? And I'm like, okay, I got some money. I'm gonna start playing, start getting my all my legendary crafting, getting it ranked up, and started, making some money. So I made some money, and then the thing was, I just had to be at the auction house most of the time to sell my wares. And I did that. I think I want to say 2 weeks, but it was probably more like a month that I was there constantly. Like, I would do a few things with my characters and then go back to the auction house and just cancel scanning, just, oh, you relist it, oh, well, I relist it, and then just back and forth. And then by the time everything was said and done, by the time I had crafted my wares, put them up, take them down, put them back up, take them down, I managed to grow from the 10,000, the 30,000, the 100,000 that I have. I probably made, I want to say, around a little over 5 million gold in total, like I've actually had, because actually maybe more than that, because right now, as it stands, I'm selling a few things, not much, but as it stands, I have around 3,300,000 gold left, and the other stuff I've spent on equipment, I've spent on just other stuff, mounts and stuff, just stupid shit I probably shouldn't have spent gold on. But yeah, a lot of money has gone through my hands. So I came to a point where, like, you know what, that's it, I'm done, I don't want to do it anymore, and I stopped. And then after a while, I think a month later, I got the bug again, because this time I had my demon hunter, which was gathering herbs and minerals, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not harvesting anymore. What could I do, And I said, well, I haven't done leatherworking, still kind of selling, and I guess I could switch to skinning and go get skins, and that kind of, like, I got back into the itch of selling legendaries and making money, and I did it again. I started doing it for like 2 weeks, but then again, by this time, this was like in February, the market was just crashing. I guess people were just getting bored of the game and not playing anymore. And so I managed to sell a lot of that stuff, and then I got into cloth legendaries, and that was a complete fiasco. So by the end of it, and this was recently, I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna liquidate, I'm getting out of this market, because what I learned is a lot of people that play the auction house, they're just playing against these other goblins or whales, the big people that got the millions and like making the millions, and they're just playing off each other. The thing is that, it's whoever can sell less. So if I sell something for 10 gold, someone will sell it for 9, and then for 8 and 7, until you get a point where people are starting to buy. But sometimes they like purposely drive the prices down to then buy it all up and then reset the market at a higher price. And I found that was a lot that was going on the auction house. And so, you know what, I'm like, it's not something healthy, because it's just these people buying basically tokens, getting in-game gold, and then using that to manipulate the market that way. So I was like, you know what, it's not really worth it. Not really any way you can really make money. And then it's just, too much of that shit. So auction house, not great. Definitely not great. But other than that, It's been good. I'm still playing to this day. I'm still playing. I have my 4 characters. I have 2 other ones that I wanted to do, but I eventually decided not to level them up. Just gonna concentrate on these 4 characters I have, because in Shadowlands there's 4 covenants. I wanted to again take in as much of the game as I could for each of the covenants, because each covenant had their own story, their own campaign, and just play the fantasies that I like the most. And eventually, right now, which was the one I'm leveling, is the mage. I finally committed to the mage, and it's been fun. It's different because the other 3 are melee DPS, and this was a range DPS, and so it's been different, but I've been enjoying it. So I think as far as making more classes, not really. I was kind of thinking making a druid just to, during the off time or whatever, just go gather more herbs, because now that I'm playing a lot more content, I find myself, needing more potions and stuff. And alchemy it's fun because you can get all these cool potions and things that can beef you up or help you with utility and stuff. So I found myself that alchemy is pretty good for profession. The only one that I don't have leveled up is engineering, because I think, quite frankly, it just sucks. But other than that, I have all of them. I actually just need to level it up so I can get that one recognition or reward. Or I can't remember what it's called. These things, achievements, right? This achievement that you've maxed out all the professions. So I just need to max that out, and that's easily done, because I think I got like a bunch of materials I can turn into stuff and then craft them, because you get points for the profession. Every time you craft something, you get points. And let's say, for instance, I think engineering only has 100 points. So every time you craft something, you get a point. And there's some things you don't get points on, and there's some things you get double points on. It's fluctuating. I don't know the algorithm or how the thing works. But once you get to that max level 100, you get an achievement. But as far as it goes, I mean, it kind of sucks, because now BlizzCon was on. And it looks like the next patch, which is Shadowlands Chains of Domination, is going to be a while to come out. And so, again, I find myself in the problem that I'm not in guild, and gearing is quite a problem, because I don't like PvP. Player versus player, I don't like it. I remember I was, and the reason I don't like it is because I'm just not good. I'm not good yet. I'm barely starting. If you tell me, like, get into a first-person shooter game, oh yeah, I'll feel definitely confident. I can just go toe-to-toe with the best of them. That's something I have experience in. I can pick things up real quickly and have the intuition and everything. But like, there was a few times that I was leveling and I had war mode on, which means that you can fight with the opposing faction, and a lot of shenanigans going on, man. Like, let's say I would try to, I was in the world with a war mode on because I was leveling, and someone would attack me, right? And I would try to attack back, but there's so much cheese in this fucking shit. There's so many stuns and snares and traps and stuff that it's not a clean fight. It really isn't. It's like if in Call of Duty, the guy has, like, I don't know, 3 stun grenades. He throws one out, stuns you, shoots you for a bit, throws another one, shoots you for a bit, and then has a third one, and he finishes you off, you know, and you never have a chance to respond. And there's all these other things, like, for instance, rogues. I hate rogues. They just hide around, and all you hear is this stupid-ass noise, and you know you're dead. They'll stun you, they'll gank you, they'll poison you, they'll do all this shit, and odds are you don't have. If you're leveling, you're low level, you're dead. What's fun is in that? So I don't know. If it's like you know, I don't know. Maybe if I were better, and I could have some counters, like, oh, they try to snare me, or they try to confuse me, or something. I like, kind of like in Call of Duty, you can have a perk that makes you resistant to stuns, right? So you have a counter. maybe I just need to learn those counters. Maybe there's something. So yeah, PvP has been an issue, and unfortunately, PvP is where all the gear is, where all the best things for gearing are, and it sucks. I kind of wanted to see getting into Battlegrounds, because maybe Battlegrounds is not so uh, cheesy, you know. Maybe you have a chance to, you know, be in a team, kind of like raiding and dungeons and stuff. But I don't know. But they're changing stuff. Apparently, you can now, in the next patch, mini patch, 0.5 patch, you can upgrade your own gear, and maybe that'll be a way for me to get stronger. Because definitely, some of the characters which I have higher gear on, it's a pleasure to play. Now I go into the world, I rack up 5, 6, 7, 8 mobs, and just delete them. Just and that is fun. That is fun. Not when I was barely starting and one stupid goat or a bear would just maul me to death, and I was like, I want to start over the graveyard. But now I'm so powerful that I don't even care. They could be pecking me all the time, and as long as I get my power up and just bzz, that's cool. So that's been it. I guess in conclusion, I don't regret playing WoW. There's a lot of people that say, you know, it's like a bad girlfriend or whatever. You just keep going back to her and she keeps beating you down. Nah, it's good. Hopefully, you know, the new patches come in, because I really want to get stuff. And the big deal of me like enjoying it more, it's definitely gonna be getting into a guild. So I'm gonna be looking for one that is, you know, pretty decent, and just help out, because that's what I like to do. I like being in teams. That's why I missed Destiny. I loved getting into a group, and we all would, you know, get into dungeons or layers or raids or whatever it is that we used to do, and just do it in a team, you know. And I love being in like a raid and somebody dies and I'm a death knight and I can go over there and res them, you know. And then they're like, hey, thanks for resing me. And like, yeah, cool, whatever, you know. Or people need food or whatever. It's just, it's that sense of community, or, you know, we're all in the goal. But man, I hate rogues. And I hate the Horde. Honestly. I do not like the Horde. None whatsoever. In the beginning, when I was picking to be whether Alliance or Horde, I mean, Horde really, you know, got my attention, you know. But I was like, no, they're too much. They're too much. They're too savage for me. I need a little something more civilized. And quite frankly, I'm not a big fan of the Alliance either. But it was, you know, the lesser of two evils. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think I'll ever play Horde in my life. Yeah, I don't think so. Probably stay Alliance. But there's some things that do appeal to me, definitely. And yeah, keep playing, trying to get into guild, try to gear up, and, you know, be useful. That's all you want, you know. Pump out the damage, or, you know, have something clutch. That's all I want. So I have to say, if I had to give a grading to my experience to Shadowlands, to World of Warcraft, I'll give it an 8. Yeah, 8.5. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Right now it's dipping. But hey, that's what these patches are for. And hey, people can take a break. You don't have to keep playing, you know. You got your gear up, you're done. Take a break, go play some other stuff. That's good, you know. That's pretty good. Like, I've been itching to get back into Call of Duty. I've been playing a little bit every once in a while, just to not lose my skills. I don't think I'll ever lose them until I get like arthritis or I become an old man. I can't. My reflexes go to shit. But other than that, I dip in every once in a while. Hearthstone's kind of been calling at me a little bit, but I'm not too sure I'll go back to that. It has too many problems. Maybe Battlegrounds. I'm not too sure what's going on with Hearthstone, quite frankly. But other than that, man, this year looks like it's gonna be a wash for games. I don't know if there's gonna be any stuff, so we're just gonna have I'm probably gonna have to stick to World of Warcraft. But anyways, hopefully this was entertaining or whatever. I don't even know what to do, dude. I don't even know. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.